Today is the first of the Nepali month of Magh, which is celebrated as Maghe Sankranti. The Tharo community celebrates this new year, in fact their new year and Maghi festival today with much fervor. Good morning, I am Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Maghe Sankranti being observed today, Tharo community observes Maghi festival amidst much enthusiasm across the country. Expansion of the Council of Ministers delayed because of lack of clarity in share of positions of President and Speaker. Prime Minister shouldering responsibility of 17 ministries. Power share set to be concluded today. Close to 60,000 people die of COVID in China since the country abruptly abandoned its tight zero COVID policy in early December. And Liverpool's underwhelming season falls to a new low as they suffer an eye-opening 3-0 defeat to Brighton. Southampton secure a 2-1 win over Everton. It is the first of the Nepali month of Magh today, which is celebrated as Maghe Sankranti. The Tharo community celebrates their New Year and Maghi festival today with much fervor. Other communities, including the Magar community, also observe the day traditionally. The Hindu devotees observe the day by bathing in rivers and holy pilgrimages. Extending his wishes on the occasion of Maghi, Prime Minister Dahal hopes that the festivals will bring new enthusiasm and goodwill. Maghe Sankranti is being celebrated across the country with much enthusiasm. The preparation for the day, which is considered New Year by the Tharo community, begins 3 weeks earlier. The entire month is celebrated by performing various activities. The Tharo community is known for their unique culture and cuisines. Dikri, which is made from rice flour, is one of the most popular dishes of the community. Dikri is also worshipped on various occasions of Tharo community, including wedding, brothel vanda, among other ceremonies. Now, Tokha in Kathmandu is popularly known for the production of molasses, which is consumed on the day of Maghe Sankranti today. The molasses produced there is exported to countries like the United States of America, the United Kingdom and Japan, among others. These molasses are produced from jaggery imported from neighboring India. The tradition of producing molasses from jaggery made from sugarcane produced in Tokha itself have died out. More than a dozen industrialists of Tokha are busy producing molasses. At the beginning, the jaggery is cooked for about 1 hour and left aside to cool down. Both machine and hands are used to beat the jaggery until its color turns chocolate, and then items like molasses, sesame balls and Nepali candy known as pustakari are prepared. A molasses industry produces and sells molasses from at least 3,000 sacks of jaggery, which costs around 10 million rupees. These molasses, meanwhile, are sold at 140 rupees per kilogram. The molasses that contain thickened milk, known as khua, cost 170 rupees per kilogram, while sesame balls cost 70 rupees per packet. The consumption of molasses keeps the body warm during winter and provides necessary nutrition to the body. Therefore, people reach Tokha to purchase the molasses. Traders say a single industry produces and sells molasses and items made from molasses worth 20 million rupees within a span of 2 months. The traditionally produced molasses has reached different parts of the country and has been exported to various countries as well. However, it has been limited to traditional occupation amid lack of interest in promotion and branding. Now, despite the lapse of 3 weeks since assuming office, Prime Minister Dahal has not been able to give a full shape to the government. Expansion of the Council of Ministers has been delayed because of the lack of consensus between the ruling coalition parties. The expansion of the government has grown complicated as Prime Minister Dahal has appeared flexible in allocating President or the Speaker of the House of Representatives to Nepali Congress. Meanwhile, the process of giving a full shape to the government has also been delayed because of many ministerial claims from the parties in the ruling coalition. According to the Secretariat of the Prime Minister, preparations are underway to conclude the power share for expansion of the Council of Ministers. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dahal has said that no agreement had been reached regarding the share of the possessions of the President and Speaker with any parties, including CPN-UML. The Prime Minister has said that an all-party meeting called for the 17th of January would seek consensus on Speaker. Speaking with editors at Balotar yesterday, Prime Minister Dahal said that Speaker of the House of Representatives could be allocated to Nepali Congress. Now, prior to this, CPNUML was understood to have secured President and Speaker when Dahal was appointed the Prime Minister. However, the equations now seem to have changed as the largest body of the House of Representatives, Nepali Congress, extended their vote of confidence to Prime Minister Dahal. The election of the Speaker of the Parliament is slated for the 19th of January. Prime Minister Dahal has hinted towards assigning the post of the Speaker to the Nepali Congress. The Prime Minister Dahal has revealed that discussions have yet to be held regarding power sharing with parties including CPNUML. Now, Premier Dahal has said that all the party meeting scheduled for Tuesday will dwell on finalizing the post of the Speaker. CPNUML was speculated to bag the post of the President and the Speaker as per the consensus reached at the CPNUML Chairperson KP Sharma Oli's residence in Balkot, Kantipur, when Dahal assumed the top executive post on the 25th of December. However, earlier yesterday, Premier Dahal revealed that no discussions have been held regarding the two positions. Dahal said that he had not expected Nepali Congress to give him the vote of confidence, and now it is his responsibility to reach a consensus with Nepali Congress. Prime Minister Dahal informed that an all-party meeting has been called for Tuesday to decide on the post of the Speaker. The election of the Speaker of the House of Representatives is taking place this Thursday. Dahal said that he consulted with CPNUML Chair KP Sharma Oli before calling the all-party meeting, which will include Nepali Congress as well. Now, replying to questions raised by journalists regarding the delay in expanding the cabinet, Prime Minister Dahal assured that the cabinet would get full shape by today evening. The Parliament does not only form the government, it is also the centre that monitors and inspects government works and gives direction to rectify wrong decisions. There is a provision of 16 parliamentary committees for the House of the Parliament for the same. However, such committees have failed to play an effective role, while the government has also failed to implement their directives. The preparations are underway to form a new committee in the House of Representatives. Well, it is yet to be witnessed how effective the new committee will be. According to the House of Representatives Regulation 2075, 10 specialized committees are to be formed. Likewise, there will be 4 committees in the National Assembly, while there is also a provision of joint committees of both the houses. The committees of the National Assembly are currently functioning, while the new committees will be formed for the House of Representatives. The committees of the House of Representatives will be formed after the election of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. The Speaker, with the consent of the Assembly, appoints the members of these committees. Now, prior to that, the political parties internally fields candidates with inclusive and proportionate representation based on specialization and expertise. Each committee has a maximum of 27 members, and the members will be selected based on the number of parliamentarians representing their parties in the parliament. The members will then appoint the committee chair. Such committees, also called mini-parliament, have been condemned of failing to work effectively, while the committees complained that the government on several occasions had failed to implement directives given by them. The government has not implemented directives issued by the Foreign Relations Committee regarding border issues with neighboring countries and bilateral relations. It has also failed to implement directives issued to identify the perpetrators involved in the rape and murder of 13-year-old Nirmala Pantha. The committees have remained silent towards the government's indifference in implementing their instructions. The leadership and members of these committees are bound to be impartial to function effectively. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what should be done to make parliamentary committees effective? Your options are A, free from government influence, B, capable leadership, and C, stress on implementing decisions. The voting is on. Type NAWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, citrus fruits like orange, lemon among others have been plagued by diseases like decaying of roots and citrus greening, which have led to the decrease in their production. Such diseases have decreased food production in farms. However, initiatives to control the diseases have yet to be taken. The income of fruit farmers of Bhutan have decreased as the fruit trees have been dying because of various diseases. The scenario is similar in Kavre, which once used to be considered the pocket area for oranges. The orange farms in the district have now become barren, and the farmers have abandoned the farming of the fruit. The fruit farms of mid-hilly districts have put on a deserted look due to citrus greening and decaying of roots. However, initiatives have yet to be taken. According to the Nepal Agricultural Research Council (NARC), the method of treatment for such diseases have not been introduced in Nepal and have suggested for plant and farm management for the time being. The farmers have been facing the problem for the past 5 decades, while experts suggest of clearing the farm and have been plagued with and planting new trees. The Federal Ministry for Livestock and Agriculture, meanwhile, has a strategy to wipe out plants that have diseases by compensating the farmers. Now, oranges worth 1.27 billion rupees were imported from India, Egypt and Uganda, among other countries, last fiscal year alone amid lack of production back home. The annual production has decreased from 1.7 million tons to around 1.5 million tons. And Nepal is considered geographically suitable for oranges, lemons, among other citrus farming. The decline in production of citrus fruits in the country is appalling, and the concerned entities must take necessary steps to address the issue. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in several provinces regarding how they spent Maghe Sankranti. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice brought to you by 3 गुना बढी टिक्छ दाम ठीक छ हुलास ग्याल्भोलुम शक्तिशाली हंसी सिमेन्ट अब 53 ग्रेड सहित हंसी सिमेन्ट डिश होम 518 एक सही कनेक्सन एनआईसी एशिया बैंक लिमिटेड बैंक पनि साथी पनि राम्रो पनि हाम्रो पनि जगदम्बा सुपर शाइन तथा जगदम्बा गाल्वा प्लस जस्ता पाता जीवनभरको भरोसा
पोका चिचरहरू बनाएर घोङ्गे माछाहरू माछा मासुहरू पकाएर
सेलरोटी हाल्छौँ कद्दु पिरालु खान्छौँ गुन्जी खान्छौँ
छोरी छोराको विवाह गर्ने निर्णय गर्ने
अब आफ्नो छोरी बहिनीहरूलाई बोलाउने मिठो मिठो खाना दिने
सानसानो केटाकेटी तिनीहरू पायो पायो खेल्न पनि जान्छन्
आफन्तहरूलाई भेटेर साथीहरूसँग घुम्न गएर मनाउँछौँ
कृषिका नयाँ अन्नपातहरू काटेर आफ्नो घरमा थन्काइन्छ
झिझिया हुन्छ अनि पूर्वी नाच हुन्छ सबै चीज नयाँ हिसाब किताब हामीले त्यो दिन सुरु गर्छौं
हामी मन्तरलाई फेरि टीका पनि लाउने गर्छौं
Time now for the international news. Close to 60,000 people have died of COVID in China since the country abruptly abandoned its tight zero-COVID policy in early December, a medical official from the National Health Commission (NHC) told a press conference in Beijing on Saturday. Jiao Yahui, head of the NSC's Medical Affairs Department, said China recorded 59,938 COVID-related deaths between December 8 and January 12. Of those deaths, 5,503 came from respiratory failure caused by COVID infections, and 54,435 were people infected with COVID, as well as underlying diseases such as cancer and cardiovascular diseases. China has previously only listed those COVID patients who succumbed with respiratory failure as having died of COVID. In the month after December 8, China only reported 37 deaths from local COVID cases, according to figures released on the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention website, even as the outbreak has overwhelmed hospitals and crematoriums amid apparent COVID surges in multiple cities. The World Health Organization and the United States have accused China of underrepresenting the severity of its current outbreak, while the top global health officials have also urged Beijing to share more about data about the explosive spread of COVID in China, where reports have emerged of overwhelmed hospitals and funeral homes. The medical officials said fever, clinical visits and COVID hospitalizations in China have already peaked. Now, according to the NHC, fever clinic visits both in cities and rural areas have been declining since the peak, when more than 2.86 million people visited them on December 23 of 2022. On January 12, 477,000 people visited fever clinics across China. The NHC said hospitalizations of COVID-19 patients also peaked on January 5 of 2023 this year, when 1.63 million people were hospitalized and 1.27 COVID patients were still in hospital as of January 12, Jiao added. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Maghe Sankranti being observed today. Tharo community observes Maghe festival amidst much enthusiasm across the country. Expansion of the Council of Ministers delayed because of lack of clarity in share of positions of President and Speaker. Prime Minister shouldering responsibility of 17 ministries. Close to 60,000 people die of COVID in China since the country abruptly abandoned its tight zero COVID policy in early December. And Liverpool's underwhelming season falls to a new low as they suffer an eye-opening 3-0 defeat to Brighton. Southampton secure a 2-1 win over Everton. So that is all for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.